Right now at 6, the Missouri Supreme Court sets an execution date for a man convicted of the rape and murder of a 9-year-old girl.
And we do have an alert day in place today. Heat index values up to 108 degrees for most of us out there. We'll take a look at those heat alerts and take a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Missourians will get a chance to decide the future of sports betting in the state this November.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. We were just talking about this, but I told her, I make mistakes too. Sometimes I forget exactly what I'm saying, and then it comes out as noises until I get more words in my head.
Sometimes I'm not even paying attention to anything.
Most people don't. Most people do not, unfortunately, or fortunately. It could go either way. But nobody's perfect. Sometimes you just run out of words in your head and your brain shuts off for like 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just kind of deer in the headlights until it clicks back on. But it is what it is.
Yes.
So as we mentioned, we do have that alert day today. We do have dangerous heat rolling into the area. We have a number of heat advisories across the region as well. And we could show you those because they are a nice orange color. Unfortunately, as refreshing as an orange would be on a day like today, these orange colors not so pleasant to see. The majority of the area, heat advisories through the late evening hours. Most of us, heat index values 105 to 108 degrees. However, excessive heat warnings for Nevada and Washington counties could see heat index values as high as 112 degrees. So again, you folks at home, you know the drill. Stay hydrated, stay indoors if you can, take frequent breaks if you're outside, find shade. And for the schools, I know some schools already back in session this week. Just make sure you're taking appropriate precautions as well. The kids may not necessarily enjoy an indoor recess, but as we mentioned earlier, it's better to be safe than sorry. Future track heading this afternoon and evening, we are looking at clear skies across the region and hot conditions. We'll also have a gusty south wind pushing about 20 miles an hour, maybe a stray cloud or two. However, overnight tonight and into the next couple of days, we do have some thunderstorm chances returning. We'll break down those details in just a few minutes because there's a lot to discuss there as well. But for today, and to get you out the door, 73 in Joplin, 71 in Pittsburgh. Some of us not that far above normal, some of us fairly above normal. So in the northeastern portion of the area, we're low to mid 70s. And again, once you get further southwest, we start going mid upper 70s as we start our Wednesday. And as we head into the afternoon, sunny skies across the region, highs upper 90s for a lot of us, if not all of us. And again, the majority of us, heat index values 105 to 108 degrees, hence the alert day and those heat advisories. Now, as I mentioned, we do have some thunderstorm chances, and some of those could be a bit on the strong side. We're going to go over all those details in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Well, firefighters respond to a call in Jasper County yesterday. The call came in around 9:30 a.m. at Prosperity and Elm Road. At the same time, heavy rain and lightning was moving through the region. While no one was injured, the Red Cross has been contacted to assist those displaced by the fire. The Missouri Supreme Court sets an execution date for a man convicted of raping and murdering a 9-year-old girl in southwest Missouri. In 2012, a jury convicted Christopher Collings of the 2007 abduction, rape, and murder of Rowan Ford of Stella, Missouri. Investigators say Collings threw Ford's body into a sinkhole in McDonald County. The Supreme Court yesterday set his execution for December 3rd. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The Missouri Secretary of State yesterday validated proposed constitutional amendments to appear on the state's November ballot. They were added after an initiative petition acquired enough signatures. One of those proposals would allow people to place bets on professional sports teams. Casino operators would also be able to obtain a license. Missouri's professional sports teams have supported the proposal, and the proposed amendment would establish a 10% wagering tax that would go towards educational organizations. If it's approved, it would become effective no later than December 1st of next year. A total 38 states and the District of Columbia allow some form of sports betting, and those include Missouri's neighboring states of Kansas and Arkansas. Another proposed amendment added to the Missouri ballot concerns abortion. Missourians will vote on a constitutional amendment that would reverse the current near total abortion ban back to the rules established by Roe v. Wade. The Secretary of State's office declared that a petition received enough signatures to be included in the election. If the amendment receives a majority vote, it would allow abortion until fetal viability, which is around 24 weeks when a fetus could survive outside the uterus. If passed, Missouri would become the first state to reverse their abortion ban. Currently, abortions are only allowed in the case of a medical emergency. Missouri is one of at least 6 states that will vote on abortion this November. Another issue on the Missouri ballot is Proposition A. If passed, it would increase Missouri's minimum wage to $13.75 an hour in 2025 and to $15 per hour in 2026. It would also require all employers to provide 1 hour of paid sick leave for every 30 hours work. And if you plan to vote in November, now is the time to register. Take a look. These are the deadlines to register for November 5th. Missouri has the first cutoff for registration in our area. That's October 9th. In Oklahoma, you have until October 11th. And in Kansas, it's October 15th. Well, officials in Crawford County, Kansas yesterday finished processing the provisional ballots from the August 6th election. Part of the process is to ensure all the tapes from the election machines are signed and correct. The provisional ballots are then tallied, and 41 more ballots were added to the grand total, while 15 were rejected. Officials say the process goes according to rules laid out by the Secretary of State.
It's required by statute that we do that. The Secretary of State has a list of rules that we have to follow, and this is to make sure that all advance ballots were accepted through Friday. Accept the official results of the primary.
If you're interested in finding out more about the process, including watching the videos of the meeting, check out the link on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. FEMA announced its disaster fund has run out of money and will only provide money for immediate needs. Plus, new uncertainty over the next rounds of ceasefire talks in the Middle East as officials warn that an attack from Iran could come this week. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Frontenac's first day of school. Topping Nation Watch this morning. A pilot with United Airlines is suing his employer for not accommodating his diet limitations. Captain Mark McKenzie filed a federal discrimination lawsuit in Colorado. The suit states that McKenzie has celiac disease and needs gluten-free food, and it claims that United has not only denied Captain McKenzie's request for safe food, but also makes him pay for meals even though he can't eat them. Well, as another tropical storm is bearing down on U.S. territories, the Federal Emergency Management Agency announced yesterday its disaster fund has run out of money. The agency's administrator says for now, FEMA will only provide money for immediate needs. And she is hoping Congress will pass a $9 billion supplemental request to help restore funding for its disaster fund. Congress is in recess through the end of August, and it's unclear when the House and Senate will take up the funding request. Despite the lack of funding, FEMA officials say they have enough resources to respond to impending disasters like Tropical Storm Ernesto. This storm is approaching Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and could strengthen into a hurricane. Well, Texas is suing General Motors over how it handles driver data. The state's Attorney General Ken Paxton says GM collects an array of data on vehicle owners. That can include how many times they exceed speed limits or violate other traffic laws. The suit says GM then sold that data to companies who went on to sell it to insurance companies. Insurers can then use it to determine how safe a driver is. Paxton also says GM received customers by encouraging them to enroll in programs like OnStar Smart Driver. The AG alleges owners didn't know joining those programs also allowed GM to collect and sell their data. Well, this morning, there's new uncertainty over the next round of ceasefire talks after Hamas said it won't attend Thursday's planned meeting in Qatar. The Biden administration says a breakthrough at the negotiating table could be the key to stopping Iran and its proxies from launching a retaliatory attack on Israel. U.S. officials warn that an attack from Iran could come as soon as this week with little to no warning. Jared Hill has more from New York.
Another setback for Middle East ceasefire efforts. A Hamas representative confirms to CBS News that it will not send a delegation to tomorrow's planned talks. The group is accusing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of not negotiating in good faith and using talks to prolong the war. Yesterday, Hamas released video of rockets launched toward Tel Aviv, though Israel's military says they did not reach their targets. Meanwhile, officials in Gaza say over a dozen Palestinians were killed Tuesday by Israeli strikes, including a mother and her twins, just 4 days old.
I'm not giving up.
President Joe Biden and European leaders this week pushed both sides to return to the negotiating table as Iran re-upped its threats to attack Israel, retaliation for the recent assassination of top Hamas and Hezbollah leaders. Yesterday, President Biden told reporters he believes a ceasefire deal could prevent a broader war.
That's my expectation, but we'll see.
U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield echoed that message at the UN yesterday.
The United States' overall goal remains to turn the temperature down in the region. That starts with finalizing a deal for an immediate ceasefire with hostage release in Gaza.
All the while, the Pentagon is rushing more military assets to the region, and yesterday, the U.S. announced a $20 billion arms sale to Israel. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The State Department says the U.S. arms deal would send dozens of F-15 fighter jets, air-to-air missiles, and other weapons to Israel. Though those weapons are not expected to be delivered until 2026 at the earliest. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, taking a quick look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, you can see we've got showers and storms off to our east. We had a few of those showers in our area overnight, but now we are dry and it is going to be hot. In fact, you can even see those thunderstorm clouds from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Well, a town in Minnesota is going to the dogs yet again. The voters have spoken and have elected a four-legged Pyrenees as their ceremonial mayor. Kevin Olivan has more.
You just immediately loved her. She was just a sweet dog.
It's yet another perfect, lazy summer day on Lake Ida. And the Great Pyrenees, Khaleesi, seems to still be campaigning for mayor of Cormorant. Ear scratches and puppy love. But Khaleesi should relax. After a hard-fought campaign, including billboards, Khaleesi has been elected mayor of Cormorant. A town so small there is no city government.
She had some tough competition, though.
But Khaleesi isn't the only one who had a dog in the fight. Meet Ken Matthews, one of the Sea Boys.
Yeah, it was me and 3 dogs were up for election this year.
The Sea Boys of rural Cormorant have nearly 4 million YouTube followers. People that love their shenanigans, a worldwide fan club. And so when Ken Matthews kind of threw his hat in the ring.
Ken didn't actually know he was going to be running for mayor. We just signed him up. And then he found out once the local paper came out.
Ken went all in. Billboards popped up from here to Minneapolis.
In the streets, like shaking hands, securing votes. He was kissing babies. Like, I just can't believe he didn't win, quite frankly.
Parades, a campaign team, but Khaleesi beat him.
Yeah, you always want to see full transparency with everything.
And now with the coronation set for this weekend, there's talk of discontent.
We might be protesting.
Khaleesi has come a long way, Like a lot of politicians, she had a rough start in life. A popular pup at a construction site in Idaho.
She would go to every person. She never showed any favorites.
Long story short, Khaleesi made her way from Idaho to Minnesota to Cormorant, now ready to lead a Lakes community as mayor, whose platform may just be make shedding great again.
Well, Khaleesi isn't the first dog elected mayor of Cormorant Village. Another Pyrenees named Duke held the office from 2014 to 2019. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
We've got some showers and storms well off to our east. It's going to be a hot day today. We have an alert day in place. Well, details on your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 6:22 now on this Wednesday morning, starting with a live look from the MoDOT camera. 20th and Range Line. We've got some nice coloring to the sky. We've got a few clouds off to the east thanks to some showers and storms. Some of those showers did make it into our area overnight, but have now cleared on out of here. KDOT camera 69 in Kansas Crossing, also looking pretty good this morning as well. Unfortunately, when it comes to the heat, we are not looking too good at all. We also have the chance for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms tonight. So again, this is day one, but day one does go into the overnight hours. So we're looking at a low-end risk for some hail, perhaps some damaging wind gusts here and there as well as we go, say, after 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. So for today, we're not expecting really anything other than heat and south winds gusting upwards of about 20 miles an hour, maybe a stray cloud or two. And then we go overnight, we start to see some isolated showers and thunderstorms, and those will continue into the early morning hours on our Thursday. And this is where that window of some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms will be. Now, as this continues to push off to the east-southeast, these storms by noon still out there, but considerably more isolated and scattered across the region. And then as we head later into the evening Thursday, we have another risk for strong to severe thunderstorms, and that'll come as another round begins to develop by about 4 or 5 o'clock on Thursday. But also take note, no real effect on our temperatures despite some rain and cloud cover out there. So not like yesterday. But these thunderstorms here could be strong to severe as well, with wind and hail again being the primary threats with these. As we go overnight Thursday, a few lingering storms and we clear out, and most of our Friday is dry and hot once again. But as we head toward Friday evening, we'll see another round initially of, again, isolated pop-up storms. And if all the ingredients come together late Friday, we could see another thunderstorm complex in the southern half of our area. Not anticipating severe weather at this point with this activity, but of course we'll keep an eye on that as we go overnight Friday into Saturday. So there's that low wind risk tonight, more so again early tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow evening and into the late night hours, a low to elevated risk for those strong to severe thunderstorms as well. On top of that, we have the heat advisories across the most of the region through today. Heat index values for most of us 105 to 108 degrees, but you get into those excessive heat warnings in Washington and the Nevada counties, and that's where those heat index values could approach 112 degrees. So we've been saying it all day, but again, make sure you stay hydrated, stay indoors if you can, take frequent breaks, find shade if you're outside. And I know some schools already back in class this week. You got to pay attention to this heat. The kids may not understand why they've got to have an indoor recess on a sunny day, but it is better to be safe than sorry. There's a look at those clouds from those storms well to our east now from our camera 7th and Range Line. 73 in Joplin, dew points up there at 69. The wind is calm for the time being. A little cooler to the northeast, low to mid 70s, and the further south and west you go, it gets a little warmer, mid-upper 70s as we get our Wednesday underway. Sunny skies through the morning, hot by 11 o'clock. Temperatures pushing close to 90 degrees. Our highs today, upper 90s to near 100. And we'll hold on to mid-upper 90s for the next several days. There's those storm chances Thursday and Friday. Maybe some pop-up storms Sunday. Excuse me. Regardless, still hot outside. And then we're going to go mid-upper 90s, getting close to 100 again as we head toward the end of next week. That's checking your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. The CDC says more work needs to be done to protect children from diseases and prepare them for the fall and winter virus season. Over the last 20 years, the CDC found its Vaccines for Children program prevented hundreds of millions of illnesses and more than 1 million deaths among people born between 1994 and 2023. The agency finds there is room for improvement among children who lack health insurance and children from low-income families when it comes to routinely recommended vaccines. Well, tests that use symptoms to help diagnose or treat conditions may prove useful in the diagnosis of ovarian cancer. A study in the International Journal of Gynecological Cancer found symptom-triggered testing, which monitors issues like pain, abdominal bloating or swelling, and feeling full soon after starting to eat, help diagnose early stages of the disease among 1 in 4 women in the UK. In some cases, the test even resulted in the complete surgical removal of cancerous tissue. And having a lack of purpose and personal growth could impact your brain health in the long run. That's according to an ongoing study that began in Illinois in 1997. Researchers find that not remaining cognitively active could precede developing dementia. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, Joplin officials gather for the dedication of a juvenile justice center.
And we have an alert day in place today. Heat index values for many of us pushing close to 108 degrees. We'll have a look at the heat and the forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Freeman Hospital in Neosho reopens their gift gallery for the first time since the pandemic.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's a Wednesday now here in the 4 states, so welcome to Wednesday.
Yes, here we are, hump day.
It is, and boy, it's going to be a hot one, to say the least.
I know.
Got some much needed rain yesterday, though.
Yes, but unfortunately, I feel like that's only going to make it muggier today.
Yeah, it didn't really, it kind of made it muggy yesterday, but thankfully for some who got some extra rain, some extra cloud cover, it wasn't awful. Right. It was uncomfortable, but it wasn't awful. Unfortunately, today, it's going to be downright awful. And that's why we have that alert day today. We have heat advisories in place across virtually the entire area. And in these heat advisories, that's where we could see those heat index values anywhere from 105 to 108. Unfortunately, for Nowata and Washington County, we also have those excessive heat warnings. And so that's heat index values that could reach 112 degrees. So make sure you're staying hydrated, staying indoors if you can, taking frequent breaks. As we've mentioned, I know you folks at home, you know the drill. But I think the big change, at least this week and into next week, school back in session. So schools, if you're in session this week, if you're in session today, make sure you're taking the appropriate precautions for those kids out there. They're not going to get it. I know that. They're going to look outside, but it's sunny. It's not raining. Why can't we go outside? They don't realize that heat is very dangerous for them out there. On the future track heading this afternoon and early evening hours, other than a stray cloud or two, we have mostly clear skies. We've got a southerly breeze gusting upwards of 20, and we've got heat to contend with. Some of us, not a bad start necessarily this morning, at least in terms of temperature. 73 in Joplin, 72 in Pittsburgh, and around the area. Again, we had those isolated showers and storms, some of them in our area overnight, the majority of it now well off to our east between Springfield and Rolla, but it's left a cooler section here in the northeastern part of our area, low to mid 70s. And you go further south and west, and of course it really starts to warm up, upper 70s already at 6:30 in the morning. Sunny skies today, highs upper 90s, pushing close to 100. A reminder, most of us heat index values up to 108 degrees, and those excessive heat warnings could see those as high as 112. Now, the problem is we got two problems. One, the heat's going to stick around for the foreseeable future, and two, we got thunderstorm chances. And while we need the rain, as Elise alluded to, it's going to make it muggy across the area as well. We'll talk about those storm chances and how long the heat lasts here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right. Thanks, Chris. The Columbus Police Department announces some changes. According to the Columbus Police Department's Facebook page, Preston Hosier is being promoted to police sergeant, and Arlo Luke will become the new school resource officer. Hosier has recently taken the lead in the department's field training officer program and played a key role in implementing the department-wide TASER modernization initiative. Luke brings 5 years of diverse experience to his new role, including animal control officer, police officer, and code enforcement official. The Nevada, Missouri Police Department announces a brand new fire chief. Captain Taylor McClintock has been promoted to the top spot. McClintock has worked for Nevada for 15 years. The department announced the promotion yesterday on its Facebook page. Well, community members gathered yesterday in Joplin for the dedication of the Senator Ron Richard Juvenile Justice Center. The facility opened in 2019 and provides short-term detention for young people waiting for a detention hearing, placement with youth services, or release to legal guardians. The building consolidates all of Jasper County's juvenile services, including detention, alternative education, courts, and administration. The Juvenile Justice Center is now named in honor of former Joplin Mayor and Missouri Senator Ron Richard, who died in June 2023.
He would be very upset with each and every one of us if he knew we were doing this today, but that's what makes it more fun, is doing something that he helped so many of us, and this is our way of letting him know that we appreciate everything he did for us.
Jasper County officials say the facility was designed with the ultimate goal of diverting young people out of detention. Well, Freeman Health System in Neosho, Missouri is reopening its gift gallery after a 4-year hiatus due to COVID-19. The gallery previously supported many charitable foundations, and they also donated more than $100,000 to the surrounding community.
So today we are celebrating the reopening of the gift gallery, and we have some wonderful new items, and we would really love for our community to come in and join us and check out what we have in our gift shop.
Officials say the gallery was being used as a negative pressure area for patients who were concerned they might have COVID. With school just around the corner, the Carl Junction Area Chamber of Commerce yesterday held a back-to-school block party. Food trucks, games, and music were available for the community to enjoy. Kids of all ages were encouraged to attend to have a little fun before school starts.
I think this is a great way to bring members of the community to the schools on these open house nights. We're kind of having a marriage between this community and the schools, which is great to see. It brings a lot of energy and excitement to the beginning of the school year. So we have kids who have met their teachers, and now they come out here and they're having a fun time. So it's really a great positive way to start the school year.
There were also giveaways for people who attended. Well, it may not be Halloween, but students in Baxter Springs had a spooky back-to-school send-off. Not even rain could stop Skeleton and Skeleton Jr. from getting set up and ready to wish students and teachers a happy school year. The 12-foot-tall skeleton was ready to take to the classroom with his giant pencil, happy to show kids that school isn't something to fear. And they have a note to students and teachers wishing them good luck and encouraging them to make this year their best year. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. GM is recalling Cadillac Lyric electric SUVs due to the anti-lock braking system activating unexpectedly. And dangerous heat returns. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Frontenac's first day of school. In Consumer Watch this morning, realtors are bracing for the biggest shakeup to their business in decades this week, and home buyers need to prepare too. New rules are set to upend the long-standing process around who pays real estate agents and how much. Karen Kaifa is in Washington with a look at how home buyers can prepare and protect themselves for the new landscape.
New rules for realtors will eliminate the long-standing 6% commission paid by a home seller and potentially lower overall home prices.
For a century, the industry has essentially set commission rates.
The changes, effective this Saturday, August 17th, are part of a settlement announced in March by the National Association of Realtors. For decades, a seller's agent typically charged the seller 5 or 6% of a home's purchase price intended to be shared with the buyer's agent. That put sellers on the hook for an additional cost some experts say inflated home prices. Now sellers will no longer be expected to make commission offers to buyer agents. Vanessa Perry, interim dean of the George Washington University School of Business, says the new rules provide more transparency, but don't necessarily simplify the process.
Increased transparency does not mean increased understanding.
Additionally, home buyers will have to sign a representation agreement with an agent before even touring a home, which could be challenging for less experienced buyers.
They're trying to navigate an already complex set of transactions, maybe the biggest transaction they'll ever engage in their lives.
That's why Steve Robeck of the Consumer Federation of America says it's more important than ever to find an agent who knows the new landscape.
Consumers talking to agents who don't really understand the new marketplace need to find another agent.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Well, GM is recalling more than 21,000 Cadillac Lyriq electric SUVs affecting 2023 and 2024 models. Regulators say the anti-lock brake system could activate unexpectedly and increase the risk of a crash. GM says dealerships will offer a free fix. Meanwhile, Ford and Mazda have issued a do not drive notice to owners who have not yet had their recalled Takata airbags repaired. A part in the airbags could cause them to explode and injure or kill drivers and passengers. More information on the affected models can be found on the car makers' websites. A big shakeup at the top at Starbucks. The coffee chain ousted CEO Laxman Narasimhan and says it will replace him with Chipotle chief executive Brian Niccol. The move comes after Starbucks reported its first drop in quarterly revenue since 2020 as consumers pull back from higher prices. And Google has unveiled its new lineup of Pixel smartphones, watches, and other gadgets. The product line features greater integration of artificial intelligence, including Google's chatbot Gemini. Pixel 9 smartphone models starting at $799 rather, are available for pre-order now. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're going to start with a quick look outside from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Still have some clouds out there. We have the showers and storms well off to our east, and you can see some of the clouds from those storms to our east from our camera at 7th and Range Line, leading to a pretty nice sunrise out there, but making it a little darker, a little longer. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line looking pretty good as well. Now, we do have an alert day today because we have dangerous heat out there. We've got heat advisories across most of the area for today, and we're talking heat index values in this zone anywhere from 105 to 108 degrees, but in Newada and Washington counties where we have excessive heat warnings, we could see those heat index values up to 112 degrees. Quick look at the future track into this afternoon. In the evening, we are going to have clear skies, maybe a stray cloud or two, and hot temperatures. We'll also have a southerly wind gusting upwards of about 20 miles an hour. Temperatures right now, not too bad, except for at least some of us. 73 in Joplin, 72 in Pittsburgh. So the cloud covers left a cooler swath in the northeastern part of our area, low to mid 70s. And as you get a little further south and west, we're starting to get into the upper 70s out there. So a very warm start to the day for some of us. We do have some thunderstorm chances on the way. Some of those could be strong, possibly severe. We'll break down those details and the hot temperatures here in just a moment. We're also going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries right after this break. But first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you, I'm Gail Kane. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, the newest members of the NFL Today crew. There he is, J.J. Watt, Matt Ryan, along with Hall of Fame coach Bill Cowher. They're going to be discussing what they're all looking forward to when the football season kicks off. So many great stories. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays here in the 4 states, and we're starting with Juniper Liberty, celebrating birthday number 5. Happy birthday.
And over in Weir, a happy 7th birthday to Samuel Smith. It says here, love Jake, Michael, Danielle, Shawnell, Mom, and Dad.
And in Columbus, Haley Rousseau celebrating birthday number 21. Happy birthday, Haley.
And happy 75th birthday to Kathy Budd. It says here, happy birthday, Mom. We all love you.
And in Humboldt, Brady Whitworth celebrating another year wiser with love coming from Mimi.
And over in Neosho, a happy birthday to Pat Klein.
And Blake and Lindsay Guffey celebrating their 9th anniversary today. Very happy anniversary to you.
Over in Erie, a happy 12th anniversary to Ron and Pat Olson.
And in Chanute, Greg and Sharon Barnhart celebrating their 20th year of wedded bliss. Happy anniversary to the Barnharts.
Also celebrating an anniversary is George and Shelley Keeling. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary. Happy anniversary.
And in Seneca, Baker Hilburn celebrating birthday number 8, going to start kindergarten. Her dad is the head coach for Seneca softball.
And a happy birthday to Billy Davidson over in Chanute. It says, we hope you have an amazingly awesome day. Love from your entire family and friends.
All right, another great list of birthdays and anniversaries. And of course, if you want to celebrate with us, Elise has some information for you.
Yes, go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those photos and messages as well. And to, of course, put the actual day of your submission when you are submitting.
Yes, because if you submit one today and you don't tell us what day it is, we assume that it's got to be for the next day. So if it's not for the next day, you've got to make sure you include that information in there as well. Well, we're going to take a quick look outside from our camera at 20th, or sorry, this is not ours. This belongs to the state of Missouri. And it belongs to MoDOT specifically. It is their camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin, looking back to the north. We had some cloud cover from those storms out to our east, so that's kept it a little darker out there than usual. And a bit of a darker view also from the KDOT camera, 69 in Kansas Crossing, of course, just south of Pittsburgh. Looking good, though. We are dry here in the area. However, as we go overnight, we could see some strong to low-grade severe storms. So we talked about this. This is day one, but day one from the Storm Prediction Center goes into the overnight hours. So we're not expecting any storms during the daytime hours today, but overnight tonight, some of us could see some large hail and perhaps some damaging wind gusts out there. So something to keep an eye on. This is not our only severe risk either. We're going to talk about all of it here in just a moment. First for today, other than some gusty south winds pushing about 20 miles an hour and hot conditions, there's really not much to talk about through the day today. But late tonight, more so after about 2 a.m. is where we're going to start to see some isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. And this is that window for some strong to low-grade severe storms as we head toward early tomorrow morning across the area. We could see some of those lingering. They'll be isolated to widely scattered through the day, but some additional showers and thunderstorms will be possible. And then we'll have another round of potentially strong to severe thunderstorms by Thursday evening into the late night hours. And you can see we've got this complex of storms. Unfortunately, the rain tomorrow is not going to do anything for our temperatures. It won't be like yesterday where it helped keep some of us cool. It is going to be hot regardless of the rain that you see. And again, some of these storms could be strong to severe, large hail, damaging winds, the primary concern with these storms as we head into late Thursday. Then we go into Friday, and initially we are hot, we are dry, and we might have a stray cloud here or there, but otherwise expecting clear skies. However, by Friday evening, another round of isolated to widely scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms will be possible. And if everything comes together, we could by late Friday into early Saturday morning see a thunderstorm complex develop in the southern half of our area, but that's if everything comes together the right way. Otherwise, again, just isolated pop-up showers and storms. Not anticipating any severe weather from this activity at this point, but of course it's something that we'll keep an eye on if it does come to fruition. So here's that low risk as we head into tonight and early tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow evening into the late night hours, we have that low to elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. That elevated risk including Nevada, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Monette, Mount Vernon. So again, something to keep an eye on as we head into tomorrow evening across the area. We also have the heat advisories, and that's why we have an alert day today. In the heat advisory areas, heat index values could be anywhere from 105 to 108 degrees. And then we have the excessive heat warnings in Nevada and Washington counties, and there heat index values could easily reach 112 degrees. So another day of dangerous heat out there as we settle back into August-like weather. 73 in Joplin right now, and as you can see, there's those clouds from those storms. They're still well to our east in between Springfield and Rolla, but nonetheless impacting our sunrise here this morning. And thanks to the clouds and that rain that some of us got overnight, a little cooler in the northeastern part of our area, low mid 70s, and as you head south and west, we start to go into the mid to upper 70s. And As we get our day underway, again, sunny skies expected, hot by late morning, pushing near 90 by 11 o'clock. We'll have another look at your forecast and the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to see how kids across America are getting mentally ready to head back to school.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Missouri Supreme Court sets an execution date for Christopher Collins, who was convicted of raping and murdering a 9-year-old girl, Rowan Ford of Stella, Missouri. Investigators say Collins threw Ford's body into a sinkhole in McDonald County, and the Supreme Court yesterday set his execution for December 3rd. The Nevada, Missouri Fire Department announces a brand new fire chief. Captain Taylor McClintock has been promoted to the top spot. McClintock has worked for Nevada for 15 years. The department announced the promotion on its Facebook page. And if you plan to vote in November, now is the time to register. Take a look. These are the deadlines to register for November 5th. Missouri has the first cutoff for registration in our area. That's October 9th. In Oklahoma, you have until October 11th, and in Kansas, it's October 15th. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And it's yet at the door, an alert day today. Heat advisories, dangerous heat, sunny skies, upper 90s, heat index values for most of us, 105 to 108 degrees out there. We'll have clear skies through the evening, low 80s by 10. We'll start to see clouds increase overnight, upper 70s. We see thunderstorm chances building a bit after about 2 a.m. Some of those could be strong, low-grade severe. We'll have isolated storms during the daytime Thursday, and then, say, after 4 or 5 o'clock Thursday, another round of strong, potentially severe thunderstorms will roll into the area. A few pop-up storms late in the day on Friday and on Sunday as well. Dangerous heat, though, holds on. Temperatures nearly every day over the next 10 days, mid to upper 90s. So just make sure you're taking precautions out there.
Absolutely. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making summer's best chilled corn soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Teens are turning more and more to their parents for advice on difficult topics. Ahead on CBS Mornings, psychologist Lisa D'Amour shares tips for parents to successfully have those tricky conversations.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll see how one Kentucky man is using a classic kids' toy to teach kids about our world.
Plus, Will Morris joins us in the studio for another Wildcat Wednesday. However, that is going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.